Hi, fellow Potterheads. Thanks for your patience. And welcome to episode 4 of Semajical Pitch, the show where I pitch a hypothetical project. Now, in light of the new Harry Potter TV series coming up from HBO in 2027, I've been pitching what I think would make a great Wizarding World universe. I've done 3 phases so far. Now we're on phase 4, the Voldemort arc. Yeah, there you go. So the next 7 projects I'm going to pitch are all related to Tom Marvolo Riddle, aka Lord Voldemort. Don't say his name. Okay. So without further ado, let's get into the first one, shall we? So, the first project for phase 4 I'm going to pitch is the House of Gaunt. Yes. Going right back to Voldemort's backstory. The House of Gaunt would be his paternal family, his mother Merope when she was younger, his uncle Morphin, and his grandfather Marvolo. Yes. And how they are living in squalor in the years before Voldemort's birth. But this is actually going to start with the arrest, or attempted arrest, yes, with the arrest of, well, actually, no, it's going to start introducing us to the characters and the squalor they're living in, before diving into a bit of Merope's home life, all the abuse she suffers at the hands of her father and brother, because she's not using her magic and they're calling her things like a filthy squib. And then, so episode 1 is going to be a 4-part miniseries. Episode 2 will detail how Merope first met. Episode 2 will detail the House of Gaunt memory we see in the Half-Blood Prince in much more detail. From the arrival of the Ministry to apprehend Morphin on the charge of using magic against Muggle boys, to the resistance of that arrest, and them witnessing firsthand about how poorly treated Merope is. And the cliffhanger at the end will introduce young Tom Riddle Sr. and lead us into episode 3, where we'll actually see Merope falling heads over heels for Tom Riddle and charming him with the love potion to fall in love with her. And so this episode will end with the conception of the baby who will one day grow up to become the most dangerous dark wizard of all time. So that means episode 4, the finale of this 4-part miniseries, will deal with the birth. We'll deal with the events leading directly up to the birth of young Tom Marvolo Riddle. including her first revealing to young Tom Senior, Tom Riddle, the Muggle boy, the Muggle man, that she's pregnant with their baby, before stopping using the love potion on him, making him come to his senses and leave, leading her to stop using the magic. And the very last few minutes of this miniseries will have her arriving at Wolves Orphanage in 1926 and giving birth to Tom. Yep, Voldemort. So giving birth to Tom Marvolo Riddle and dying. Because I'm sure you'll know that she actually stops using her magic when Voldemort's father leaves her. So that is the 4-part mini-series, The House of Gaunt. So, let us now head into the second storyline of these 7, which would be Riddle. Okay, and this will be a series of prequel films about Tom Marvolo Riddle's days as a Hogwarts student. And so the first film would literally jump ahead 11 years to 1938 with opening with Dumbledore coming to visit a young Tom Riddle in the orphanage to recruit him to Hogwarts. Before then, jumping ahead again to him starting at Hogwarts and being sorted into Slytherin, where he quickly becomes a favourite student of then Potions Master Horace Slughorn. Flashbacks will be thrown in to give context to his early childhood throughout the film's 2.5-hour runtime. So this is the first of what I'm going to say 4 films. So this one will detail Tom's first year as a Hogwarts student. Now, and he's under Dumbledore's watchful eye. The second film... Okay, now, for the second film, where I've only got 4 films in mind for this pitch, for the second film, we're going to jump ahead 2 years to Tom's third year at Hogwarts, where he's now settled into his magical education and he's starting to develop some dark tendencies throughout the school. So this film will then be set during the 1940 to 41 school year. So at the start of the series, we'll also meet a young Rubeus Hagrid, starting his first year at Hogwarts and becoming a Gryffindor. And Myrtle Warren, starting her first year and being sorted into Ravenclaw. And then begins her reign of getting bullied. So, guys, then we'll get more flashbacks to Tom's past, this time showing flashbacks from the first film, to offer more context as to the stuff he gets up to during that year, and to offer context in what he got up to in his second year, since we skipped that one. So into film number 3, where we just jump ahead to Tom's 4th year at Hogwarts. And this is where things get noticeably dark with him, as he starts wanting to learn more about his family history. And his dark tendencies have now developed to a point at which he's starting to make other students feel uncomfortable. But his closest allies are starting... Well, actually, no. We'll wait for film number 4 for that, shall we? Yeah. Which would be him in his 5th year at Hogwarts. And this is where the things actually start to take place. The 1942 to 43 school year. This is when Tom learns of the Chamber of Secrets, learns of his family history, and, well, you know what happened from the flashbacks in the Chamber of Secrets. Okay. If you didn't, what are you doing here? Okay. He's a prefect at this stage, and he's now a favourite of Horace Slughorn. And this is, yes, that's right. This is also when he starts creating Horcruxes. So, part 1 of Tom's 5th year at Hogwarts ends here. And we get into this. Okay. Horcruxes. Now, this will be a... this will be a TV miniseries that spawns from part 2 of Tom Riddle's 5th year at Hogwarts. Now, we open in 1943, continuing that storyline from the end of the Riddle movie series. And this is the pilot movie to the Horcruxes series. And so here we actually witness Tom opening the Chamber of Secrets to unleash the Basilisk on the Muggleborns, and using Myrtle's death to create the Diary Horcrux. By this point, he's already gone and murdered his father and grandparents to create the Ring Horcrux. Okay. And also, we now have to, because then we witness Hagrid's expulsion from Hogwarts, and we have a bit of overspill now. We have the overspill into Tom's 6th year. And the overspill basically has him at the start of his 6th year, before going off to learn about Horcruxes and if he can make 7 of them. Yeah, he's already made 2 of them by this point, I must stress. Okay. And so the movie ends with him having collected that information from Horace Slughorn. So we get those memories played back to us again, this time as actual events playing out in the storylines present, before going into the Horcruxes miniseries, which details him creating his other Horcruxes. Well, the ones that lead up to the first Wizarding War. And who he kills to create them. Now, a pop quiz before moving on to the next pitch. How do you create a Horcrux? Well, what is a Horcrux? A Horcrux is an object in which a wizard, or a witch or wizard, has encased a piece of their soul. And to go about doing that, to split your soul, you have to commit murder. So, the other Horcruxes we see the other items we see Tom securing and turning into Horcruxes throughout the series would include Ravenclaw's lost diadem, Hufflepuff's cup, Slytherin's locket, not the sword of Gryffindor. No. That only presents itself to a worthy Gryffindor. Okay. So, guys, that means we now head into the third project I'm going to... fourth. The fourth project I'm going to pitch for this phase. And that is going to be... Darkness Rises! Okay. This will detail the rise of the dark arts. Voldemort's now in full swing. By this point, he's created 5 Horcruxes. And the first Wizarding War has started. The Order of the Phoenix have formed to combat the darkness and evil of Voldemort and his Death Eaters. So in this series, Tom Marvolo Riddle, aka Lord Voldemort, will be in his late 50s. So, quite a bit of time later, as it's set in 1971 through 1981. Or 1971. This will detail the start of the Wizarding War, which coincides with Lily Evans, Severus Snape, James Potter, Remus Lupin, Sirius Black, and Peter Pettigrew all attending Hogwarts. Okay. So, yeah, it coincides with that, but it'll be mainly about the rise of the Wizarding War, which was actually starting when they were starting at Hogwarts. Where's the Marauders series, James? Well, it's not part of this. Yeah, you have to wait and see. Okay. So, I will actually say this would be a trilogy of films detailing the start of the First Wizarding War, and will cover the first 3 years of said war. So spanning from 1971, or from 1970 to 1972. Those 3 years. Wow. Yeah, so part 1 of this trilogy would take place in 1970 at the very start of the war, with Voldemort and his forces growing strong and recruiting more members, with the Order of the Phoenix teaming up against them and forming. Part 2 will be taking place in 1971. And we'll casually jump over to Hogwarts, where the Marauders and their classmates are beginning their wizarding training. We'll have casual skips, but we'll see how much more formidable Voldemort and his Death Eaters are becoming during this year. And part 3 will take place in 1972, when they're at the height of their game during this war, in the 3rd year of 11. And so, that would be the Rise of Darkness. So now we get into the meaty of it all in the next project I'm going to pitch. Yes, the Wizarding War. This, to be clear, it's the first Wizarding War. And this will cover the years of 1973 through to 1979. So we're at the height of the Wizarding War here, and each season of this show will take place during 1 year of the war. So it's starting from season 1, which would take place in 1973, with more Hogwarts graduates of Slytherin joining the Death Eaters, and more people joining the Order of the Phoenix and joining the war. It's going to get bloody. Well, it's not, because it's magic, but you know. So it's going to get even more dangerous, with dark magic flying everywhere. And this first season, well, each season will be 10 episodes long, and will lead nicely into the next season. So season 2 will take place in 1974, and well, we're getting into the middle years of the war now, guys. And we'll just see how much more dangerous Voldemort has become. Now, just remember, by this point, he still only has 5 Horcruxes. So, he hasn't found anything to make his 6th one out of yet. Or his 7th and final one. So... And these 10 episodes will just detail how many more casualties there were during the war. Because Voldemort is actually winning at this point. And eventually, the whole series, between 1975 and 79, will see more people joining the Order of the Phoenix, more Death Eaters joining the cause for blood purity. The Marauders themselves will join the Order of the Phoenix. That's right. Now, season 3 take place in 1975. Season 4 in 76. So yes, the Marauders will join in season 6, 1978. And we'll just see how long they last, because yes, Peter Pettigrew is in the group to start with. Yes. He was a member of the Order of the Phoenix first, but was he? I think he was playing double agent long before. So, no, he was a member of the Order first. And now season 7 will be 1979, with all that's going on, the Longbottoms and the Potters, and because James and Lily are married by this point, and they're also expecting Harry. So, Why have I not included 1980 in this bit? Well, that's because the penultimate thing I'm going to pitch for this video is win or lose. We're now in the final years of the first Wizarding War. Voldemort has won so far. Now, during all of this, James Potter and Lily Evans have gone into hiding at Godric's Hollow to go and have their baby boy. Well, they've moved to Godric's Hollow, they've had Harry, so we're in 1980 now, and Harry's just been born, and Peter Pettigrew at this point is working for Voldemort, as well as working for the Order of the Phoenix, so he's the mole for Voldemort here. And this film, I'm going to say, will detail this last year in 1980, before it all came crumbling down. Now, as we know, Peter Pettigrew has to go and be the rat here, because... Yeah, get it? He goes off to tell Voldemort where Lily and James are in hiding, because at this point they have to be put into hiding, after Severus Snape has gone and relayed one half of a prophecy to Voldemort about a boy born at the end of July that will one day grow up to destroy him. Okay, we know who that boy was. But at this time, it could have been one of two boys. Harry or Neville. Yeah, so... this film will actually end as it turns from 1980 to 1981. And the final project, guys, the final project I'm going to be pitching for this phase is the end of that. Darkness Falls. We're in 1981 now, guys. We're specifically in October of 1981. Yes, the time of that year the war ended. Lily and James are now in hiding, but not for long, because Peter Pettigrew has gone and told Voldemort where they're hiding. And so Voldemort hunts them down to try and kill Harry. James, ever the resourceful man, stands up to Voldemort and attempts to take him down without his wand. So he's dead. He gets Avada Kedavra. And Voldemort goes up into the nursery to pursue Lily and Harry. Now, with the Fidelius charm broken, I now reveal Peter Pettigrew was the Potter's secret keeper, after Sirius turned down the position. And so, while Voldemort does offer Lily the chance to step aside and let him take Harry's life, of course she doesn't. She doesn't take that chance, no. She decides to lovingly protect her son, as any loving mother would, by throwing herself in the crossfire and taking the killing curse for him, which then causes Voldemort's attempt on Harry's life to fail, as it backfires, bouncing back on him, reducing him to his mist form, so destroying his body. And this will be a film as in to say, to end off this phase. And it'll be a sequel. An 11 years later sequel to Darkness Rises. And it will end with Hagrid and Sirius turning up. Hagrid to remove the baby Harry from the rubble of the fallen house, the now destroyed house. And Sirius, well, first to say he's the godfather, it's his responsibility to take care of Harry. Of course, Hagrid declines, saying no. Dumbledore said Harry must go and live with his aunt and uncle. So Sirius gives Hagrid his motorbike, saying he won't need it anymore. So off Hagrid goes to deliver Harry to Dumbledore and McGonagall at Privet Drive. And Sirius goes off then to confront Peter, who then accuses him, frames him, of being the murderer of 12 muggles, before transforming into his rat form, before cutting off a finger, leaving it at the scene of the crime, transforming into a rat, and scampering away. Okay. And the epilogue of this film will be the prologue to the Philosopher's Stone. Only now we have it stretched out a bit more. We actually see the Dursleys getting ready to go to bed in this version of the scene, before what we see at the beginning of the Philosopher's Stone plays out. Only this time, the epilogue we're seeing is a repeat of the opening scenes of the first season of the TV show. And that sets up Harry's story. And ends the Voldemort phase. So, what do you think, guys? These 7 projects detailing the life of Voldemort, Voldemort's whole backstory from the House of Gaunt all the way up till the end of the First Wizarding War. So, in TV miniseries and films, and a full TV series to boot. Let me know what you think in the comments below, of course. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next episode, when I will detail a 5th phase, which won't be Harry's story, because that's phase 1. Okay. And actually, guys, I'm going to involve you here, if you've been enjoying these now. In the comments below, let me know what you want to see pitches for in phase 5. Will it be more prequels detailing the backstory of certain aspects of the Wizarding world? Or do you want me to cover different parts of the Wizarding world? Different Wizarding nations? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a magical time.